Welcome to this edition of the Rhody Reporter. I'm your host for the segment, Mark Zakaria. The law of the jungle states that might makes right. If you are the apex predator, life is good. If you're not, run, hide, or fight. The whole point of the evolution of civil government has been to even the playing field so everyone has at least a shot at making their own way. Where there's a system, however, there will always be someone trying to game the system. Decades ago, Rhode Island's public service unions became the apex predator here in the Ocean State. They did so by creating the state legislature in their own image. The unions willingly provided money and manpower to ensure re-election upon re-election. In return, they got to negotiate contracts and other benefits with government managers who were beholden to them. These days, more and more of those elected government managers are them, as more and more union officials run for office. As if 100-page annual contracts and the highest cost in the nation for firefighting weren't enough, there's more. Today, we have such a long and ignoble history of sweetheart deals for state purchases that advertisers regularly joke about it. Hey, I know a guy. Huh? So where does all this leave the hard-working, tax-paying men and women of Rhode Island? Why, paying millions extra in taxes to cover the bloated contracts, paying for 38 studios' bond obligations we actually did not owe, and suffering the losses to the state treasury that come from low-ball, no-bid contracts worked out in the dark. If you don't think that last thing happens here in the Ocean State, well, what part of Alaska do you live in? Former Attorney General and longtime student of Rhode Island politics, Arlene Violet, recently penned an editorial to that effect in the Valley Breeze. Here's a synopsis, straight from the source.
Mark, I'm just really fed up with the way business is done in Rhode Island and continues to be done. We have this present governor, for example, doing a behind-the-scenes kind of contract, just begrudgingly releasing some of a few details, being poked by the Providence Journal again to get the facts out there. And meanwhile, she's binding 20 years, 2 decades of future taxpayers by this little sweetheart deal that she's making behind the scenes without any disclosure of what the full terms are. I'm fed up with that.
So, we all have to work harder so we can pay more taxes so the ruling class can continue to rule. We are left to run, hide, or fight. Many run. You can see that by the sudden oversupply of Florida registration plates on our roadways each summer. Hiding is also widely used. Sure, it's head in the sand kind of hiding, but many of us just ignore the problem. The one thing we haven't tried yet is fighting. But unless there's a real will among voters to send a message at the ballot box, nothing changes. Even rank-and-file union members should vote for their own personal interests rather than just blindly going along. Yeah, I get all the strength and unity arguments, but with the state pension funds in such disarray, you're looking at a real haircut there too. Will that be a promise made but not kept, or will it be a fantasy sold to you by union management who knew all along it couldn't happen? I'll give you a hint. Why do you think their pensions are funded by a different source than yours? Go ask the pensioners in Central Falls how all that worked out for them. It is high time. Ocean State voters demanded Little Rhody be run like a business, not a bottomless GoFundMe page. Okay, that may be too much to ask at the beginning. Could we at least demand that we're run like New Hampshire? Because if we're not, nothing changes.